and welcome to the news. Are you all right?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Done? Okay. This is the news. Last week we were talking about the Porsche Cayman GT4 a little bit.
Just a bit. We may have mentioned it once or twice. Yeah.
On that event, we had a chat with Andreas Preuninger, who is in charge of the Porsche GT department, which basically builds all the really cool Porsches, GT3s and stuff.
Yeah. I
also had a chat with him about a very important topic.
Possibly the most important topic on today's news. Yeah.
Absolutely. Why does the new 911 GT3 RS not have stupid stickers?
It's on everyone's lips, I know everyone was thinking it. So what's the answer then?
Well, we looked back at some of the older GT3 RSs on the site. Which do you think is the worst?
Probably 997, I think.
The ones, like the
checkers,
the
checker
checkers
ones,
yeah.
And it kind of went over the rear wing and
Pretty bad,
yeah.
pretty bad. I had a chat with Andreas about this and he had a good old laugh. I think I get the impression it's a bit of an in-joke within the GT department that basically every time they brought out a new RS, they basically put an even worse set of stickers on.
Yeah, they have got progressive, because 996s aren't as bad, I think.
No,
it just says GT3 RS on the bottom.
Yeah,
and
reasonably tacky, but not too bad. So, and he said that every time they launched a new RS, everyone would go, Jesus, those stickers are horrible. And he said, well, yeah, but they're just, you said that about the last set that we put on. So anyway, this new 991 GT3 RS, no stickers. I asked him why not, and he said that basically because the car looks wild enough as it is. It's got the vents on it, it's got the massive wing, it's got this little dimple in the that runs across from the bonnet over the roof, and he said that catches light, looks like a stripe. Basically, it's bright orange, it's got 500 horsepower, it's got a massive rear wing, and he thinks it looks wild enough as it is.
I actually know the real reason.
Go on.
I reckon someone just forgot to bring them with them to fit on the press car. And I can say this speaking from experience, previously done this job, I have done that and forgotten to put stickers on cars, which then became the spec of the car. So that's my theory anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I think someone forgot.
Right,
There's
fair
a
enough.
factory full of them somewhere.
We shall find out. Moving on, Jim Glickenhaus, who, as we know, has set up his own car company and is now building a racing car and a road car version. His previous project was pretty ballsy, got to say.
You could say that.
Yeah, so basically he looked at the Ferrari Enzo, which everyone thought was a pretty cool car, the most amazing Ferrari of its era. He looked at the Ferrari Enzo and he went, you know what? It doesn't really look as good as it should, and it doesn't really go as well as it should. And you know what? I'm going to team up with Pininfarina, and I'm going to make a better one.
Yeah, I like his
That's,
style. He's got some balls. We'll give him that.
So this was some time ago, and we had a look at a video that he put up detailing the history of this car that he built, which was the P45, based on an Enzo, inspired by the P34, which he has an old, the car that won, I'm going to forget the year now, but it won at Daytona and also raced at Le Mans, I think. Anyway, one of the most beautiful Ferrari racing cars ever, and he made his homage to it, and he then built a racing version. It's a great video, check it out on the site, and also, as we said before, Jim is a PHer, so he reads your comments and you may bump into him on the forums.
Absolutely.
Moving on, I had another chat with an interesting chap, a guy called Roger Craythorne, who is known as Mr. Land Rover.
Why is that?
Well, he was born just a mile from the factory the same year that the Land Rover was first signed off. He worked there his whole professional career. He started out as an engineer, then he ran the Land Rover Experience, then he was the PR man, and he retired last year.
So properly man and boy, done every job in the place.
Absolutely, absolutely. He knows Land Rovers, Range Rovers inside out. But we had a really interesting conversation about the G-Wagon and how it compared with both Land Rover Defender and the Range Rover, and he said that the G-Wagon could have murdered the Land Rover.
Oh really? Why?
He said that as a vehicle, the G-Wagon was probably superior, but basically Mercedes cocked it up as a product.
Oh really?
So from the pricing and positioning point of view, if they'd done a properly stripped out version like the Land Rover that all the farmers could have bought, they would have beaten the Land Rover. If they'd really gone against the Range Rover, they'd have beaten the Range Rover. But in the end, they made it too complex to go against the proper Land Rover, and it ended up too expensive to go against the Range Rover. So it was neither one nor the other.
Oh, fair enough. But I mean, I suppose the interesting point is in some ways it has succeeded because it's still being made.
Absolutely. The G-Wagon has survived, and as we all know, unfortunately, the Defender dies later on this year. And on that slightly sad note, that is the end of the news.